On this week's episode,
Stop believing the lies. He's Kevin.
she's Robyn,
And we're the Schwobs. Stop believing the lies.
Stop believing the lies. So, over the past couple of weeks, I've had two different guys that I know that have shared struggles. And it's all dealt with themselves and it's rolled into their marriage. And a lot of it is due to the fact that we believe lies that we hear.
So what you're saying is that their struggles are self-esteem aspect and believing things that aren't true.
Right.
Okay. So let me break this down. Okay, because we know we're told from an early age, us as girls, that you got to be a size 2 and all this.
Right.
It happens with the male species as well, but not always as much in the looks department.
Right.
But more than that, I think a lot of what we believe hinders on or is determined, one, from the background we are in, our background, and two, how we deal with things, our personality. I know for myself, I grew up in a very sarcastic home and not in a very good way. Sarcasm can be fine. You ask me what's for dinner and I say food, that's sarcasm, but I'm not hurting your feelings. That wasn't the case. I felt very belittled in my family. I felt very unwanted and unloved in my family.
Yeah.
And if you go from that atmosphere to a school atmosphere which is the same, where you're being picked on by your peers, be called fat, ugly, stupid. I was what's called an IEP. I had one. I spent 2 to 3 days a week in a room with one-on-one with a teacher from first grade.
Yeah.
That labels a kid and that affects a child. And
right.
I went through some other things that affected my self-worth. And from that, I wanted the approval of others.
You wanted to be accepted.
Was craving acceptance and love. And, I'd be invited to parties and I'd be the one that everyone's making fun of at the parties. Or I'd try really hard and not be able to do well at basketball or anything negative, even as growing up, even if it was done in a loving way, if it came to be negative, if it wasn't, you're not good enough to be on varsity, or I'm sorry, you can't play basketball because you didn't make varsity as a junior, or spelling bees. I'm sorry, you didn't make the spelling bee because you're stupid. My teacher never said that. My teacher was very
But that's the message that you hear.
Yes.
Even if it's not physically said to you,
Yeah.
that's the message that you hear.
I mean, for example, for the spelling bee, anyone who's done a spelling bee knows you have to get up in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to make the spelling bee, school round spelling bee, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, you had to get up in front of your classmates and the teacher would give you a word to spell. Well, if you got it wrong, you just sat out. And this wasn't just a one-time deal. This was a week worth. And the top 3 at the end of the week would go to the spelling bee that was held in the school auditorium. People, if you can't spell good 2 or 3 days out of the row, you probably ain't going to make it, and there's no reason for you to go up. And I did not like getting in front of people because I felt I was stupid.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest comments I ever got was from a classmate 2 years, 2.5, 3 years after we graduated high school. I was working in a daycare and she came to pick up her niece. And she and I got talking. We've been classmates since 5th grade. And she said, I'm so proud of you. She goes, look at what you've done. You have an associate's with all your struggles, and you were able to get your associate's degree. And that was like, whoa. And she was one of the smarter girls in the class. And that was impressive to me. But it took a whole lot of struggle to stop listening to those lies.
Yeah. And you hear them so much that it's ingrained in you, and that's the only thing that you'll accept.
Yes.
Because for years.
Don't give me a compliment.
No.
Don't compliment me. Don't tell me I look nice. Don't tell me I look pretty. Don't tell me I'm smart. Don't tell.
Guys, for 10 years, I complimented this woman. And
this is what I did. I am not kidding you. Now, insult me. I ask nothing but come back and it doesn't bother me. Boing, bounces off. Compliment me? Oh, switch city. Switch city.
Yeah. Yeah. But, what it took for you is a switch of the mindset. You just had to.
Well, first of all, you got to stop telling yourself these things. I think the difference between you and I is your insecurities. You had to talk about coming from 2 opposite sides of the track.
Yeah.
You had a mom who, this is the woman who read Stocking Stuffer and tried to find a nice way to tell me she didn't like one of my characters. I laughed inside as she tried to sweetly tell me she didn't like a certain character because he's too dark, Robyn. I'm sorry. Your mother is always looking for the best. And so
she always looks for the best. She tries, she doesn't like the negative.
No.
And so she tries to veer away from that even when she's critiquing things.
So you grew up with a positive aspect, even though you were told no and your mother didn't push you to do things and did things a lot more for you. And that led to a different thing, but I don't think you ever felt like you were dumb or stupid.
No.
Or
it was never that I felt dumb or stupid. The one thing that I heard a lot growing up is you can't or you shouldn't. Because of the disability that I grew up with. I have what's called a shunt that goes up and down my spine. And so doctors said don't play contact sports, because if that thing breaks, you're in a world of trouble. You're going to land in the hospital, have surgery. It could even be death.
Right.
So I heard you can't or shouldn't a lot growing up.
See, and in my house, I heard can't a lot too, but
Mhm.
oh, I can't. Let me prove you wrong.
Watch me.
Stubborn child.
Mhm.
Stubborn child.
Robyn is the watch me girl.
Mhm. Don't tell me I can't. Just don't, because I'll prove you wrong. That was how I grew up. That's in your face. That was just me. I was trying to find acceptance, but at the same time, don't tell me I can't do something. Don't put me in a box.
You like to challenge people with that. Go ahead. Tell me I can't.
Don't put
Watch
me in a
me.
box. Watch me.
Mhm.
I will get out of that box and watch what I can do. But going back to the negative, I had to learn a couple things. I was in college when poof, epiphanies came my way. First of all, you have to stop the negative talking and voicing it. You're not these things. So stop saying them, because your spirit takes them in. Okay, so first you need to stop saying them. Secondly, this was the big proof of epiphany for me. I am made in the image of God. The Bible tells us that we are made in His image.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Certainly.
When did that epiphany hit you?
I was in college.
You were in college.
I was in college. Yeah. A lot of epiphanies happened after a certain situation with a certain person.
Yeah.
And I had to rethink what I thought about myself, and it didn't happen overnight. I still clinged to men for acclamation, to feel worthy, to feel loved. But when it came to me like this. I say I love God. Yet I hate myself. And people, I hated myself. There was nothing about me I liked. If I say I love God, how can I hate myself when I was made in the image of God?
How can you hate what He created?
It wasn't even, to me, it wasn't even about that He created me.
Right.
Okay. It was about that I am made in His image. Okay.
Right.
So if I am made in the image of God, if I am a piece of God, if I am like God,
right.
And see, I don't like myself. I hate myself. I hate aspects of myself, whatever it is. In my thought process, and this was something God showed me, how can I say I love God if I don't love myself?
And what it boils down to is we have to believe and accept who God says we are.
Yeah.
Not what society says we are.
Right.
Not what our boss says we are. Not what our family even says we are. Even if they say...
yeah, a lot of the time the problem is the family, though. Not all the time. Not all the time.
No.
I lucked out with my mother-in-law 100%. But I know in a lot of cases, it's what's done via family and peers.
And you take what was said to you, what was done to you when you were younger throughout your life.
Yeah, you really do.
And the sad thing is, we don't realize that until way later in life.
Yeah. Well, and you know, I want to talk about how. Well, I want to say two more things, and then I want to talk about how our self-esteem, our believing these lies affect. We know how it affects us badly, but what does it do to our marriage?
A ton.
How does these negative things that we believe, these lies that we believe, affect our marriage? Now, we were discussing this earlier, and it was for my 45th birthday.
And you wanted a tattoo.
I wanted a tattoo.
She came to me and she says, I'm going to do something and I'm not looking for permission. I'm getting myself my birthday present. I went, okay.
Well, you have to understand, and I respect Kevin's opinion. I respect Kevin's thought process. I respect his beliefs. I have to. I'm married to him. I chose to respect those things when we got married. And he is not a big tattoo person. And this is what conversation we've had. Because I think tattoos are great. I don't particularly love the sleeves in this, but I love looking at, it's an art to me, such an art to me. So he looked at me and says, okay, where you're getting it? I said, my ankle. Around my ankle, it says, chosen, fearfully, wonderfully made. I was chosen. I was fearfully, wonderfully made. And I get that from two verses, two of my favorite verses. One has become my life verse, and that's from 1 Peter 2:9. You are a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God, God's own possession, so that you may proclaim the excellency of him who has called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. See, we were chosen to represent him. He chose us to do his work here on earth.
Yeah.
And if we are always, woe is me, and I suck, and I'm stupid, God can't use us. Yet we've been chosen because he loves us. And then the other one that I love, and is part of my tattoo, is Psalm 139, 14. Hold on, my phone has to think. It's thinking an awful lot. I love phones.
139:14.
139:14.
Let's see.
Don't you love today's technology and how it doesn't work when you want it to?
Let's see. Hold on here. Let me take.
So, my phone not working has gotten me all tongue-tied and upset.
Psalm 139:14.
Psalm 149.
That's what you're talking about.
14. I know. Oh, here it is.
139:14. Here
okay.
We go. You got it?
I got it.
Okay.
My phone decided to work. I will give thanks to you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works, and my soul knows it very well. So something just came to me. God just showed me something as I read that. Okay. I will give thanks to you, For I am fearfully and wonderfully made.
Mm.
So when we're letting the self-doubt and the lies creep in,
Mm-hmm.
we aren't being thankful to God for what he's done
No.
and that we've been wonderfully and fearfully made.
Mm-mm.
So let's talk about how believing lies of self
Mm-hmm.
hurt a marriage.
Okay. So let's go back to the struggle that you had with accepting compliments.
Okay.
For 10 years, no lie, 10 years, um, this woman would not accept a compliment from her husband. She would cringe, literally cringe. And, it's one thing to cringe when you know that the compliment isn't sincere. It's easy to cringe then. But when there's sincere compliments and it happens every single time you
Every
get
compliment
one,
is a lie.
Then
Compliments lie, compliment lie, compliment lie.
that's what
Compliment
she's
lie,
hearing.
compliment
And
lie,
then what
liar,
I'm hearing
liar.
is, okay, why am I wasting my breath and
Liar.
energy?
Liar. He's a liar.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't. I don't believe him. What does he want? What does he want? What does he want? What does he
Yeah.
want? What?
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it was only when people wanted something were they nice to me.
Yeah.
And so that was a real struggle for 10 years. I still deal with self-doubt. I still
But
struggle.
nowhere near what you did.
No.
Nowhere near.
Of course, then, people, I still call him though sometimes because he is lying. I walk downstairs right after I've gotten up from bed. He looks at me and goes, "You look beautiful, you liar." I know I don't. My hair's sticking in 3 different directions.
Mm-hmm.
I got bags under my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming downstairs. God,
Mm-hmm.
hi, beautiful. Lie. Lie. Here's the thing. There are verses all throughout the Bible
Mm-hmm.
that talk about who we are in Christ. He calls us his beloved child.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He tells us we're fearfully, wonderfully made.
Mm-hmm.
He tells us we've been chosen. He told us we are loved.
Mm-hmm.
And because of those things, we need to set aside what the world tells us,
Mm-hmm.
what our past has told us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying it's easy because it's not.
No.
It's not.
Right.
10 years. 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And
10
we've
years
been married.
That my compliments went in one ear and right out the other.
People, that is, we've been married, we'll be married 24 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's almost half of our marriage
Mm-hmm.
where I did not believe what he said to me.
So let me take the verse that you just quoted a minute ago about being chosen. Not only were we chosen by God, but God chose you for me.
Mm-hmm.
God chose me for you.
My challenge for all you guys out there listening
Mm-hmm.
that are married, for the month of February, for this month, we have, okay, people, I'm sorry. I'm not, believe it or not, I'm a female and I'm not a fan of Valentine's Day. We don't celebrate it.
No.
We celebrate our anniversary, which is 3 days later, which is so much more important to me.
Mm-hmm.
But
that is our Valentine's Day.
it is our Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. I get candy half off if I want to give them chocolates. Let's just go the day after Valentine's Day. Better. So much better.
That's right.
Anyway, I'm so terrible.
Mm-hmm.
For the month of February, I want you to speak life into your spouse.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to do it by telling them you love them every day. It can be first thing in the morning, it can be last thing at night. We don't do it as often anymore, but when we first got married, I'd say till we went through that rocky spot, and then a few years, we've done it a little more since then. But at least 3 or 4 times a week, we say I love you.
Oh, definitely.
But
anytime we're on a phone call with each other, we always say love you before we get off the phone.
And if I'm not dropping my son off at work, but actually going somewhere, I'll say I love you as I'm leaving. Here's the thing I want to challenge you guys. Find things throughout the week that your spouse does well or is doing well. First of all, thank him for doing it. If he is not normally making dinner and he chooses to make it one day because you're working a little bit late or vice versa, because some guys are better in the kitchen than females, and that's not the case in this family, but he does cook and I'm thankful.
You're more thankful that I do laundry and do dishes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank him.
Even when she brings 3 or 4 dishes while I'm halfway through,
he's not done
the dish process.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, find things. Hey, look at how great you are at that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thanks for doing the dishes. Look at how clean they are. Not just thank you, but show them how they're doing something positive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, you want to take a walk for the dogs? I love walking the dogs with you. Hey, you want to go for a walk? It's beautiful outside. Let's go for a walk and talk. And start talking about all the things that you love about each other, that you like about each other. As you get married for longer times, that listen sometimes be small. If you're going through a difficult time, that list can be small too.
Mm-hmm.
However, pray. God, show me what I need to tell him today. Show me what I need to tell her today. Share what God does she need to hear? What God does he need to hear today?
And even if you are currently going through a rough patch and you're probably listening to this going, I'm ready to kill him.
Been there.
I am ready to kill him.
Been there. Haven't done it. He's still sitting next to me, but I've been there.
Yeah, there is nothing that I love about my spouse. There is nothing that I'm thankful for my spouse. God, why did you give me that individual? We've been there, we've done that. But let me tell you something. If you pray, God, help me in this, God, show me, he'll do it.
Yeah.
There is no doubt about it. We're a prime example of it.
We've been through a couple fires and we've ended up on the other side. As I said, 24 years together.
In February.
Married. 26 together. Married 24.
Yeah. Yeah. And we are blessed to see 24.
Very.
Extremely blessed. I mean, guys, you are probably looking at us going, there is absolutely, positively no way that this can be fixed. There is no way that we can be reconciled.
It can.
You're right. You can't.
But God can.
But God can. And it is the testimony that you will have if you let him work on it will be the most powerful thing in the book.
So get up from this podcast, turn off your computer, go give your wife, go give your husband a hug, a kiss. You can choose if it's on the cheek or the lips. I'll let you make that decision. Tell them you love them and tell them one good thing about them that you love about them and why you married them.
And if this podcast has meant something to you today, we encourage you to
share,
like,
and subscribe.
Thanks for hopping on.
Until next time.